And welcome back, everyone. Ellington here, and we are back with Total War Rome 2. And we are back on everyone's favorite settlement on this game for multiplayer battles. We are on Berdigala. Berdigala is maybe the most popular barbarian settlement in this game, I think. It's fairly even. Bit overplayed though, but that's alright. It is what it is. Right off the bat though, we do have some chariots coming out from Pontus. Let's see, I think it's just standard sized chariots. He's turning around, I think basically because they got off of the tower there in time that he would have been able to get Javies. Also, you have Gallic warriors here as well in support of it. So, might have been a bad idea to go in there at that point. And yes, I realized right as I hit record that I forgot to do the paint markers again, even though multiple people have reminded me multiple times, and I'm sorry, I suck. But anyways, like I said earlier, this is a 3 versus 3. We'll start off with the attackers. We have Carthage being commanded by Uchia Madara. He is the one who sent this game in. We've got Galatia being commanded by Trinket Man. Ooh, gotta be careful there. Artillery. Yeah, that's what I would go for too, is the gen. Then finally, all the way over here, we've got Arverni being commanded by Ready to Die. For the defenders, we've got Epirus being commanded by Hannibal. We've got Pontus being commanded by Jeff Rush. And we can't really see them very well, but we do have the Odrysian Kingdom on the battlefield being commanded by Arlo. That's really exciting. I really like Odrysian Kingdom. I understand why a lot of people don't, because it's a very hard faction to play. They are very squishy, but they're a lot of fun. Just give them a chance. Just learn how to play them. I'm not saying that learning how to play them means you're going to be good or always do well because they're hard, but you're going to have a blast trying, I promise you. It's kind of like Lusitani. Lusitani's my favorite faction. They're really hard to play because archers exist, and archers don't like veteran shield warriors, and veteran shield warriors don't like archers. So they're hard. Same thing accounts for the Odrysian Kingdom. They basically are kind of, their main infantry comes down to these mercenary, or they're mercenaries on it, but they're Thracian warriors. And then they do have a very good elite unit called the Thracian Noble, which is extremely good. But just like the Thracian warrior, they don't have shields, so they are very squishy and die very easily to arrows. But I swear, if you charge into something with a Thracian warrior, and especially a Thracian noble, whatever's in your way is not going to last very long. You got mercenary Falxmen in here as well. Same thing, they're like a kind of like a mini Thracian warrior, except that they actually have a Falx equipped. Thracian warriors have a different weapon that, for the life of me, is slipping my mind. Somebody in the comments will hopefully remind me what it is. I don't want to like pause to look it up. But the Thracian warriors have a slightly different weapon. A lot of people think it's a Falx. It is not. The Falx is like this. It's kind of small and very curved. The weapon that the Thracian warriors are using are a very long, more subtly curved blade. So yeah. But anyways, I like the Thracians, the Odrysian Kingdom. They're fun. They hurt, but they're fun. So this is going to be interesting because we have 3 very good factions versus, I'm going to be honest with you, 3 factions that aren't as good as the other 3 factions. Pontics, the Pontic swords, to be brutally honest with you, they're not great. They're not as good as like a Thorax sword. And Thorax swords aren't as good as any of the infantry that the attackers have. So that means that the Pontic swords are even worse at it. But barbarian infantry as a whole tends to be a bit better than Hellenic infantry. And then you have Galatia here, which is like the perfect mix of barbarian and civilized, you know what I mean? The Galatian Legionary is arguably the best mid-tier unit in the game. They're phenomenal. But then, like we were discussing with the Thracian Warriors, very good high-octane units. You have to keep them moving. Thracian Warriors here, they have a very high charge bonus. See their blades? I was talking about longer. But their charge bonus is 36. So with them, you want to be moving them in and out of the combat as much as possible, getting that charge bonus each time as much as you can. So using, a Thracian Warrior in combination with like a Pontic Sword, or, Epirus has some Samnites, stuff like that. It's a good combo to switch those units in and out like that. Epirus, their problem is they do have Samnite Warriors, but they're mercenary Samnite Warriors, and mercenary units in this game are limited. Depending on the unit and the faction, you only get 2, 3, or 4 of a mercenary unit. Some things are only 2 units, some things are 3, some things like the Samnites are 4. So while Samnite Warriors are very good, they can only bring 4 of them. So that leaves them with what else? So they have Illyrian Levies, which are a low-tier unit. They've got Thorough Spears, which are a spear infantry unit with Javies. By the way, Arverni does have forces over in the forest. Usually you might see a sally out over here. And then what else do they have? They've got the Italian Swords, which are solid, but they're not quite a mid-tier. They're kind of like the in-between of a mid-tier and a low-tier infantry. They're pretty solid, but they do lack a little bit of standing power. That's where something like a Samnite Warrior has very good standing power. We do have Eastern Archers from Pontus, and I'm assuming Cretans from Epirus. I hope it's Cretans from Epirus. They are going to need them, because you've got probably 3 Cretans from Carthage. Well, that's a Balearic. 1, 2, 3 Cretans from Carthage, probably 3 mercenary Syrians from Galatia, and then 4 Gallic hunters is my guess. So that means the defenders are at a severe archer disadvantage. Eastern archers do have the 150 range to contest, but they have very bad armor. The 2 factions here, Carthage and Galatia, they both have armored archers, meaning they can take a volley exchange a lot better than an Eastern archer can. Gallic hunters are kind of like Eastern archers in that they have low armor as well, but Gallic hunters also have the capability of going invisible, right? They have stalk, and they have guerrilla deploy, stuff like that, where they can kind of like back off and kind of go invisible for a minute. Basically as long as they're not seen within a certain distance. So that is really handy. They have a little bit of survivability because of that. Artillery coming all the way back here on the hill. It's probably not a bad target. You got these Thracian warriors kind of piled up here. But yeah, the Eastern archers are going to struggle a little bit. And then I think the Odrysian brought the Thracian bowmen, which are only a 125 range and only 10 armor. So they might have a little bit of trouble. It might have even been better for them to possibly look at bringing Thracian peltists instead. Maybe a slinger, but slingers can be a little tough to find a really good place to use them. You know, they need that flat arm. Sorry. So we've got mercenary Italian swords going against mercenary Italian swords. Carthage and Epirus are kind of similar in that manner. They actually have a lot of similar of the mercenary units. They both get the Samnites, they both get Italian swords. But Carthage does have a regular mainline infantry in the Libyan infantry here, which are a little better than Thorax swords. That's the downside to Epirus, is they don't have a mainline infantry outside of those Samnite warriors. Epirus probably has slightly better cav. The Hellenic cavalry is pretty good. They also have Hellenic Royal Guard pikes, which are better than the pikes that Carthage can bring, so you get a little bit of variety there. Pontus can bring one of the best pikes in the game due to their cost, which is the Bronze Shield pike. They are, when you look at it statistically, they may not be quite as good as some others like a Silver Shield or Hellenic Royal Guard, but when you look at the price of the Bronze Shield pike, with the stats that they are very solid for the fact that they're don't know, I think 100 gold cheaper than some of the other elite tier pikes. Gallic Hunters here, 41 kills, 35 kills, 138 kills. They've been getting really good shots here onto this defense. These Italian swords have 60 armor, which isn't bad, but it's also not great. They seem to be struggling over here on this corner. This side, they really haven't gotten into much combat, but I have a sneaking suspicion that Galatia is about to blow through this. We've got Galatian swords versus Mercenary Celtics. Mercenary Celtics are good low-tier infantry. They're actually really good low-tier infantry. Galatian swords are another one of those units that kind of sits in between the low-tier and the mid-tier infantry. So you can see they're a medium melee infantry, while the Celtics are a light melee infantry. I think these guys are like 460 or something like that. These guys are like 350. So, little better. And then we've got the Scutari. Now, Scutari are very, very, very good infantry. They're like 620 gold for a unit that can go toe-to-toe with the Thorax Sword, which is almost 90 gold more expensive than it. They're very good. Biggest downsides, armor's only 60, so they're a little squishy. Little squishy. But Scutari are a very good unit. Especially. So typically Scutari I like to use in tandem with a heavier infantry unit, so they would do pretty well combined with like the Galatian Legionaries or the Libyan infantry, or even the Arverni Chosen Swords. With the Chosen Swords, they're a pretty darn good unit. Got Samnites back here. Pontus pulling back quite a bit. Actually, it looks like all of them. Yeah, they're pulling back to the next layer, it looks like. I think Pontus is going to hold near this gate, but the problem is he's giving up the gate. And if he does that, he's just going to get shot. I think he's going to keep moving, which I think is the right call there. The reason that Bertigala and this corner specifically are so popular. This is the initial attack. It happens right here, okay? And here's the thing. The game is all about angles, okay? Especially when it comes to your archers. It's about getting flanking shots on the defenders so you can basically do more damage to them. So, you know, as they're trying to hold their line like this, you can bring archers over here to shoot at this. You know, you just have to watch for counter archers and stuff like that, or sally outs. But other than that, you can exploit those angles, you know, rather than attacking straight ahead. You have no angles here. You have no way to sneak around and hit the side of a unit with your archers. The best part, the way you could like attack this, is if you've got an artillery up here on this hill, you can bombard that area to pieces. Other than that, it's pretty hard to attack that wall. Same thing on this wall. It's pretty tough because same thing, it's a straight fight. That's why you see on most settlements, barbarian or cities, you typically see attacks on corners, because then you have, as the attacker, the capability of hitting the flanks of the defenders. On this side, they're taking it slow. You usually will see that there is not usually much of an attack to the right here, and that's because, look at right up here. Typically, the defenders will have some sort of archers up on this hilltop, and you can see, especially up here, it's forested. So all they have to do is they can take a volley, then hit halt fire, and their guys will disappear in the forest. Take another shot, hit halt fire, and their guys will disappear again. Counter archers on the hill over here. I'm sitting here motioning with my hands like you can see me. It's very difficult because the archers can basically shoot, then become invisible. Shoot, then become invisible. By the time you counter shoot them, they've already gone invisible and you can't really target them. It's a pain. So then your guys who attack here just get shot to pieces. That's why you usually see the main pushes are here, here, and then eventually you'll probably start seeing them push here. The goal is to hit into this area. The problem is that's why you see the attack down this way, because you have to put pressure into places other than just a straight-on fight. So what's the difficulty over here? That's this cliffside right here. Archers put up here, have a great position. You can see how much room they have to spread out to fight. While you look at from the attacker's vantage, it's very cramped, it's very limited space, and it's very hard to avoid getting shot or to disperse your units in a way that you can get effective volleys and you're not stacked on top of each other. So usually mid to late game, you'll see some cavalry of some sort come and threaten the back way, okay? It's very hard for the defenders to defend everything up here, but also keep an eye back here. So the hope for the defenders is that they can bide enough time on this side that they can, kill as much as they possibly can and hopefully delay anything on the back end. You see Carthage not quite advancing, but he does look like he's going to. They are continuing to hold forwards. See, this is probably not the way you want to be using the Thracian warriors. Where are the Thracian warriors? The line is up here. So here's your Mercenary Italian Swords, and here's your Mercenary Veteran Hoplites. Thracian warriors are a charging unit. They're shock cavalry, or shock infantry, excuse me. They want to charge into combat, so they charged into combat. Where are they? They're not here. They're all the way back here, stuck behind the line. You want to pull a unit, charge a unit, and you want to do it at the same time so that the unit that's charging in gets a clean charge straight into the enemy. If you don't do that, you lose. Look at that. See that? That's what happens. A couple of guys ran through, but a bulk of the unit just got bogged down by all of your own guys. So that's, especially when it's something like a hoplite, which is so densely compact, your Thracian warriors, they just can't charge through. So you want to be exchanging units. So it may not be the best thing to combine a Thracian warrior with a hoplite, because a hoplite you don't want to be moving around a bunch. Now, if you exchanged with the Sam Knight and Thracian warrior back and forth, that would probably be a bit more impactful. But the hoplites, if you're going to use them, you just want to kind of use them alone. The Thracian warrior has probably got some kills, but he's only got 47. He's gotten at least 2 charges, probably 3, and only 47 kills. That's not great. Here we go. Archers set up down at the bottom of the hill, forcing this defense to back up because they've got that angle. Now, for the defenders, they are still being shot shield side. So it's not as bad. If they were getting shot over here, it would be worse because... Oh, wait, no, they are getting... I'm sorry, I got mixed up. They are getting shot weapon side, not shield side, which is bad. Shield side, you still at least get a little bit of that shield bonus, but sword side, you get no shield bonus, and it's very, very painful. Very, very painful. Here we go. Now we got the pull. Pont is actually defending the tower here. Interesting. You don't see that very often. Once again, mostly due to... So what I wouldn't be surprised if we see these Syrians right here just melt this Pontic sword. It's either that or he's going to try and take a fight with the... Where is he? He's just moving up here. Get out! Yeah, I think you see what I mean. See what I was saying earlier? Very hard to expand your units. So look how clumped they are. The Easterns can get some really good volleys. And look at the Easterns. They're very spread out. 44 kills, 84 kills, 114 kills. So these guys have already seen some shooting. The Easterns, 29. I didn't see the other one. The other one took a pretty big hit by all those archers. Syrians are at 115, 74, 115. Yeah, see, this is the problem with the Easterns. They just can't take the back-to-back volleys. I'm still really, honestly, I would have at least one of these archers shooting over here. Galatian Legionaries using formation attack. I say this, I swear, in every battle I cover. Stop using formation attack. At least in these situations, in this one-up situation like this. You're hurting your own infantry. Or your own effectiveness is what I should say. You're not hurting your infantry, but you're hurting your effectiveness. Look at this. The line in the battle is it cuts here. That's the end of the Pontic sword. You got like 10 guys right here that are just swinging at nothing, doing nothing, because they're in formation attack, which means they will hold that line. If they weren't, they would curl into the side of the Pontic, and usually you start seeing attack in the rear or something like that, debuffs on the other unit. I don't know why they didn't deal with the Pontic that got up on the walls here. You know, the Levy Freeman and the Scutari could have gone in on that. But it's probably not going to matter. The Galatian Legionary is probably going to deal with this pretty easy. Pontic charged in on the other Scutari here. The Scutari, I think, was already hurt. Syrians have moved up. They've taken control of this. You do have the Thracian bows getting shots on the other Scutari unit here. Still holding the... Sorry, I had to sneeze. Hopefully my push to mute still works and you guys didn't hear that. Please, for the love of God, if you did hear that, let me know so I can know that my push to mute didn't work. Be embarrassing. Another Galatian Legionary charging in here. Pontic sword is going to be gone. They got 2 Pontics fighting the Scutari. Scutari 114 kills. They are just now beginning to advance over here. I think, once again, they're still a little wary of the hill, which is perfectly reasonable. Are they out of ammo? It looks like the Gallic Hunters are out of ammo, and they're still being shot, which means that the defenders are wasting their ammunition on those. You know, if they still had ammo, perfectly great to shoot them, but out of ammo archers are not a very good use of your ammunition. Who you got? Mercenary Indian Elephants back here, and the side chariots again. Now here's the problem. Shield wall. But he's hurt. He's really low. So the chariots are probably still going to do a pretty good job here. Yep. Elephant's going to go in over here. Scutari do not have shield wall. Go in. Go in. Why do you stop? I don't know, man. Okay, elephants go into the general. Horses don't like elephants, so elephants are very good against cavalry. Here's, yep, good job. Now you probably send your side chariots over here to deal with the Scutari. Then you might be able to get in the back of the Pontic swords, even though they are in shield wall. Yeah, maybe not the best. Shield wall will also be effective against the Indian war elephants. Shield wall it creates a pretty substantial barrier against cavalry, chariots, elephants. What you tend to see is once something goes into shield wall, then they get charged. The unit, like the elephants, will like slide around. They find it very hard to penetrate through the middle here once they're in shield wall. So it really affects the charge of the. Oh, and Pontics, I'm stupid. Pontics, their own units. They were standing there, and I was thinking that it was like the attackers just chilling. I'm stupid. Sorry. So, Arverni coming in like a wild child. This whole thing's about to fall. We've got Samnites in a really bad spot. He's taking on the Chosen Swords here, but he's about to get flanked. Over here you can see, oh, we've got Thracian Nobles in combat here, 27 kills. They're going in on the Chosen. Good cycle. Good cycle. Thracian Warrior charging in, Thracian Noble pulling out. Still a little deadened by the fact that that Pontic sword was still in combat, but he got his solid charge there. The charge kind of got broken. I think was charging this way, but he caught the edge of the other Chosen Sword, and it kind of stuttered his charge and, you know, made it less effective. Pull your Sam Knights. Pull your Sam Knights. Look at this. You're clumped. Don't charge in like this. You're losing all of the impact here. Sam Knights are going to go in. Please, Odrysian, just reorder your Thracian nobles. Please. Here we go. This is a good charge here. No, do not charge. Please don't charge this. They're 50 kills. This guy, look at that. Get a good charge, and he's already at 57 kills. This guy, he's at 53, and he's been fighting longer than the other one has. I would be careful at shooting into this combat due to your Thracian nobles being there. Now you charge your Thracian nobles. Please! Charge, men! Charge! This is why they should have reformed while they had the chance. Because then they could have really got a really good charge in. Thracian warriors charging in now. That was a pretty good charge. You can see his banners. Or no, this one. So there's his banner. It's like that little unit looks too big for only 74 men. Eastern archers are basically kaput. Galatia has full control of the... Okay, so they've broken the line here. Yeah, I think... Yeah, I'm okay with sending the Thracian warrior. I thought they were going to send the Thracian noble in, and I thought that would have been a bad idea. I don't think I would keep committing units into this, though. You know, because now this Italian sword is kind of stuck. You know, Thracian warrior is only going to last for a second here. It's got 97 kills. That's not bad for a Thracian warrior. This one's not doing so hot. Only 48 kills. Or 46, I think it was. 115 on a Pontic. That's not bad. Thracian noble going back in. 131 kills. Thracian warriors can be very effective. Or Thracian nobles. Thracian warriors can be too. Just less effective than the Thracian. 79 melee attack and 55 or 45 weapon damage. It's nuts. Their armor's not even terrible. They just don't have shields. 98 kills now on the other Thracian noble. 153. Got a fresh Pontic up. Some Illyrian levies coming in. They're pretty hurt. They're probably a depleted unit from way earlier. They still have 2 Thracian nobles left. Got the Royal Peltus for Epirus. Pontic Royal Cavalry. The cavalry is probably going to have to be the one keeping an eye out on the other side. And it looks like they pulled the elephants back. Because I don't see any dead elephants. Really wouldn't be surprised if we see elephants charging in on the other side sometime in a couple... Libyans moving forward. Gallic hunters moving forward. Oops, sorry, I bumped my mic. This Pontic is not having a good day. He does have 117 kills. Thracian noble coming back in. The attacker's doing exactly what they should, and that's shoot them. You see Thracian nobles, Thracian warriors, your best bet is kill them with arrows or slingers or javelins, something. The thing you don't want to do is get into a one-on-one combat with them where they get a solid charge on you, because if they keep doing that, they will tear you to shreds. They're probably going to have to send another Pontic over here. Mercenary Syrians just kind of poking around back here, but he's pulling them back. So you can see this very thin line still. 146 kills now. 172, going to get some Galatian swords. I don't really know why we've got this huge clump of infantry still chilling back here, though. And most of their best faction is standing over here. They have, what, 480 men of their best men standing over there, just guarding the left. I guess it's just not the faction I would have put on the flank just to guard. I would want my Galatian legionaries pushing this. It's our best infantry, so that's where I would want them, is in the combat. Libyan 73 kills. This is a pretty... Where's the rest of this unit? It says 130 men, but this looks like 80. I guess they're kind of spread around a little bit, I guess. Pontic about to break. Now this is a different Pontic. He's only got 59 kills. I think this is the one that was in combat. Samnite warriors moving forward. More Pontics shifting to the side. If I was Galatia, if I'm going to have these units here, I would push a little bit. He's probably scared of the elephants, and that's a fair thing. That's fair. But I don't think it's impossible either. Jabby toss. I don't think I saw a jabby toss from the Libyans. Maybe they're out. They do have 94 kills, so they might be out of jabbies. Got another Pontic here. He's only got jabbies on him. He's got 160 kills almost. Look at all of this, man. This is usually how this area ends up looking, is just like this. Thracian warrior or Thracian nobles charging in on the Chosen, and the Chosen were caught in movement, so they're going to take a heavy charge here. Look at that number go. Looks like maybe he's going to set up the Samnite behind. Hopefully we'll see a cycle here. He'll probably move once his head hunt goes out. Ooh, they're using who's got the warrior jet? Is that Arverni? Yeah, Arverni's got the warrior gen, so he's got the morale affecting general. He used it on the Thracian noble there, which I don't think was the right call. Especially because the Thracian noble had already used his. So what he used is a ability that takes away the ability to use an ability. So Thracian nobles have headhunt. So when you put that ability on them, it means they can't use headhunt for a period of time. I don't remember how many seconds. But he had already used his headhunt. So why use it? Could have used it on this Thracian noble instead, which would have prevented him from using, I think, one of the two abilities that he used, which was Headhunt and Battle Rhythm. His other ability that he has is a morale debuff, which only really works if the unit is already low morale. So let's see if we've got anything that's yellow. So if you look at this little square or diamond, whatever you would call this, it's green. That means that the morale is good. Once it gets to like yellow, that's not good, or that's kind of like eh. Then red is bad. Here's chariots. Nothing for the defenders seems to be yellow or red at the moment. Battle rhythm on a unit that pulls out of combat. So a second person has that ability? Who else has... There's no way he just used that twice that soon. Yes, he did. What? Those things don't usually, they don't usually recharge that fast. But once again, they used it on a unit that already used its ability. So it's kind of pointless. You want to use that on the unit before it uses the ability so that they can't use the ability. I guess it might have stopped them from using their second wind. I don't even know. I don't know which ones it stops. I don't think it stops all of their abilities. Chariots. 169 kills isn't bad, but it's not great either.
We understand.
The attackers are far out in front on this one so far. And when you look here, it's like, well, why? It's not that crazy. But then you turn and you see all of that. And then all of that just chilling back there, not doing anything. And that's when you realize why the bounce power is so slanted. I hate to say, I think in all reality, this is coming down to faction disparity. You know, the attackers have 3 very good factions, and the defenders have 3 average factions. Man, that ability recharges way faster than I remember it recharging. That's been like 3 uses of that ability in, what, the last 2 minutes? Usually those things take at least a minute to recharge, depending on the ability. Some are longer and some are slower, or some are longer, some are shorter. This Thracian Noble, 188, 190. Oh, look at that charge. The General, only 83 kills. It's 59 minutes. So this is a time to use that ability, the morale affecting ability. See how it's red? It would probably break this unit immediately. Ooh, get your gen out of there. Maybe he sees a gap? I think he sees a gap. I see a gap. Yeah. Yeah. Get in there. Get in there. Come on. Get in there. Noble Cav over here from Carthage. The Pontic Royal Cav, I believe, is better, though. Oh, yeah. 36 melee attack, 46 melee, or what? 37. Elephants are now in as well. I would not send the elephants over here. I would be terrified of them going out of control around one of the... I mean, I know the Carthaginian general's there, but the Pontic general is not one I would particularly want to lose. Royal Peltas, 165 kills with 2 chevrons. Thracian Noble's only 101 kills, but he did get a chevron. Galatia has moved up his remaining units. He's got 2 Galatian swords and a Galatian legionary. Pontic Royal Cav charging over into the Celtic Scorpion crew. And I think they're going to take these 2 depleted nobles and just charge them right down the hill. There you go. Elephants just tearing up the Noble Cav gen. It's a good job. Good job. 121 kills, 321 kills. This is not good. And I don't think there's a damn thing they can do about it either. They might consider bringing the general back. Or not the general, but the elephant back there. Problem is that both of the units here have shield wall. So it probably wouldn't be as effective. The Royal Peltas general from Epirus looks like it might be going to support. Thracian Bell's 134 kills. That's pretty solid. 114. For 125 range archers, that's pretty good. 95 kills on the War Elephants, but they have gotten a chevron. Means that they're getting good quality kills. Shield wall there. Shield wall there. Galatian Legionary has not gone shield wall, though. Don't charge it. You think he's going to? No, I don't think so.
Forever loyal.
Both Thracian nobles are gone. Pontegoro Cav out here still being a nuisance. 156 kills with 2 chevrons, and he's still decently healthy. 35 men. I mean, it's a little under half, but, you know, still enough to make an impactful charge. Probably get another 50 kills on him if you use him, you know, where he should be. Royal Peltus up to 200 kills. He's got 73 charge, or 73 melee attack with the use the whip ability. Galatian Legionaries coming in.
Quick march. Charge.
I hate to say, I'm pretty sure this is over. They just have too much left. You know, the defenders have put up a really solid fight here at the final defense, but this whole thing here just got really messy. The chariots, unfortunately, don't look like they came out worth it. He's at shield wall, but his units were all kind of dispersed. So good charge here. Look at that. Indian War Elephant all up to 340. He's getting crazy kills all of a sudden. 3 chevrons now. He's not going down without a fight. That's It's unfortunate that it's too little too late. I really don't see any way that the defenders pull this off. The elephant alone would have to get buku kills. And he's already gotten a ton of kills, don't get me wrong, but look at this. Looks like he's going to hit the 500 mark. You can see they're starting to fall, though, due to the volley fires.
Shield wall.
They are out of control. I think the Carthaginian general is gone, by the way. Nobor's Gen still around. He could come in and assist back here. Might still be worried about the elephants, though. 521. Pontic Gen is at 191 now.
Shatter them.
But there you go. Galatian Legionaries wrapping around. The elephants are back under control now. No shield wall from the Galatian Legionaries. There we go. Yeah, the defenders definitely put up a strong defense here at the end. Like I said earlier, I really think this all in all comes down to the faction disparity. I think the defenders played very well. It wasn't perfect, but I mean, nobody really is, right? So, like, there's going to be mistakes made by everybody. But here, it's just the factions are way different. You know, the attackers came with big hitters. The defenders came with average hitters. And I believe that is it. Here in just a sec, we'll go look at some kills. Alright, let's take a look here. Starting off for the attackers, excuse me, we have Carthage being commanded by Uchiha Madara with 2,846 kills, leading the entire game. His archers did very well, infantry did pretty good. Yeah, all in all, just pretty solid across the board. Nothing specifically kind of jumping out. You got the 315 Libyan infantry, that's pretty darn good. The archers all doing right around 200 kills. Ready to die is Arverni with 1,735 kills. Let's see. You know, the Chosen Swords, they did alright. You definitely would want to be seeing a bit better kills out of them. The archers did pretty solid. We've got Trinket Man as Galatia with 2,431 kills. It's not very often you see Galatia get out killed by like somebody like Carthage. Which Carthage is still good, but Galatian Legionnaires are just... And honestly, here's why. Healthy. A lot of these units barely saw combat. Archers did excellent. Look at that on the ballista, 294. For the defenders, we've got Arlo commanding the Adrizian Kingdom. And honestly, I think he did pretty solid. The Jin, he got kind of beat up, kind of bullied a little bit. Falksman with 134 kills, 125 on the veteran hoplites. But the other Thracian nobles, 324. These guys both got chevrons for their 153 and 193. 139 on Thracian Warrior. Looks like this guy got nuked. Jeff Rush as Pontus, 1559. I'd say, Jeff, you just outmatched, man. Or your faction was just outmatched today. Pontus going up against Galatia, Arverni, and Carthage is extremely difficult for Pontus. Hannibal as Epirus with 2,601 kills, so second in the game. 563 on the War Elephants. 236 on the Royal Pelotus. Archers did very well. Samnites did pretty good. So all in all, pretty good across the board. Honestly, pretty good fight. I think that the losses that were sustained early were a bit too much to pull it back at the end for the defenders. But they put up a very stout defense there and played very well for how slanted the factions were. But that is going to be it for today's battle. Thank you guys so much for joining. Don't forget that if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We'll see you guys next time.